right mind is going to get in front of that. Harris, tough shot, got it.
Which is showing why he's one of the best shooters that we have on display.
The Nets win their 5th consecutive game.
I don't think, you don't look at too many games during the season when you have a measuring stick, but also when you do, you want to be full, and they weren't full as well. So you don't really know how to go about that. But, you can always find ways to get better no matter who's in the lineup.
So we'll see them down the line again, and we look forward to it with a whole entire healthy Lakers team. That's what we really wanted. I know everybody wants that, and so I'm looking forward to the challenge and seeing them down the line.
Brooklyn, stand up. You all see Kyrie, he even pulled the mask down because he had to make sure we all heard that message. Stephen A., Max, I'm Molly. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Feel Good Friday here on First Take. Fellas, I'm into all of this. I mean, I know we didn't get to see both teams at full strength, but that was still something special, and we will at some point. You heard Kyrie, Brooklyn extending their win streak now to 5. Stephen A., what message did Mr. Irving send?
Well, first of all, Kyrie Irving, I mean, he had moments. He didn't have a big game statistically, but he had moments where he put on the show. He just showed you just the kind of ability that we all know that he has. The kid is spectacular. There's no way around that. Yes, they did not have Kevin Durant, and the Los Angeles Lakers did not have Anthony Davis. But watching this game, the message that I peeled from it is that, as I said before, the Brooklyn Nets are coming out of the Eastern Conference. They will be in the NBA Finals, barring any significant injuries. And as far as I'm concerned, last night said to me that they should be the championship favorites. The Brooklyn Nets should be the favorites to win the world championship. The questionable health of Anthony Davis, combined with the way the offense is playing, the fluidity, the distribution of the basketball, the Joe Harrises of the world in the starting lineup, the Jeff Green, how you could go small the way Brooklyn did last night. Bruce Brown, along with Joe Harris, along with Kyrie and James Harden, with Jeff Green playing the center spot. You got 4 or 5 guys on the floor that are all a threat from 3-point range. They went relatively small, and they definitely had an advantage over the Los Angeles Lakers in the first quarter because LeBron obviously only had 7 points in the first quarter, couldn't really get it going. You expected him to attack from the interior all night long. He did it enough, but in the same breath, he was still struggling from 3-point range, which was predictable. In the end, I'm just looking at the Brooklyn Nets right now and the way they're getting others involved, the Joe Harrises, the Jeff Greens of the world, the Landry Shamits of the world, and what they can do from the perimeter, and the fact that these guys are literally feeding the basketball. You see the effect that Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni, the offensive minds that they have, coming into play here. And by the way, they get defensive stops at times when they need them as well. So I look at all of that, and I'm willing to declare here today that the Brooklyn Nets should be the favorites to win the chip. They should be the favorites to win it all. That's where I'm at right now. That's what I peeled from last night.
The message that Kyrie and Harden sent to LeBron last night was real, recognize real. Game, recognize game. And when Kyrie, remember back, Stephen A., when Kyrie made the comments about KD and how for the first time at the end of a game, he sees another dude who, he wasn't lying. What he's showing is he wasn't lying. I think he ignored LeBron's judgment. I'd still rather have the ball in LeBron's hands with everything he can do with the ball, including score. But what Kyrie was talking about is a guy he trusts in that moment to hit a shot from anywhere, just like he can. Harden, too. James Harden has played with some great players. He was too young to know how to be great with other great players when he was first in OKC. That's why he and Westbrook couldn't share the floor. That's why he used him as a sixth man. And he wasn't very good there either when the pressure mounted. And later in Houston, when he got Chris Paul, let's not forget, by the time the playoffs rolled around, Chris Paul was probably off a step, probably missed it because of injuries. It made him look like he was declining. And Westbrook is not a shooter to begin with. This is the first time James Harden and Kyrie Irving are playing. Last night it was with one other guy, but when KD is healthy, it's 2 other guys who are just like them that way, who they trust to hit a big shot from anywhere on the court at any given time, especially when it matters. And you saw it, you brought up Kyrie Irving. The numbers don't tell the story from Kyrie's game yesterday. Yes, we showed some highlights. He hit some very tough shots late, but we know his skill level. He can do that. But it was Kyrie's willingness to move the ball, Not just the assist, but the hockey assist, the assist that led to the assist, the pass that led to the assist. The way they move the ball unselfishly, James Harden too, his court vision. I knew James Harden could pass, but oh my God, the court vision he's shown since he's come to the Nets. It's the same sort of thing. These guys see game, recognize game. That dude's just like me. Can get his own shot at any time as well as anyone who ever lived, and can hit it from anywhere as well as anyone who ever lived. You went through the Nets roster, Stephen A. What about TLC in the corner, right? Their guys are wide open because of these players' gravity and their unselfish play. And the message they sent to LeBron, of course, is we're coming, but it's because game, recognize game. They're playing unselfish basketball.
Well, I just disagree with you. I think that's engagement and hyperbole, and it's unnecessary because the fact of the matter is that LeBron James, who doesn't know that James Harden has game? Who doesn't know that Kyrie Irving has game? LeBron knows it because Kyrie helped to win the championship. So to me, that's nothing new. What's new to me is the players that are making a contribution. The level of unselfishness, Kyrie Irving and James Harden definitely needs to be given a lot of credit. And then we need to engage in a little history here. When James Harden was in Oklahoma City, although he was relatively young, you had people who believed that he was a better point guard than Russell Westbrook. Not a better overall talent because we didn't see the scoring machine that James Harden would ultimately become in Houston, but they actually thought that he was a better point guard, that he made better decisions at the point guard spot, even when he was young and in Oklahoma City coming off the bench for the Thunder. So we understand that James Harden, it's not a surprise that he has that court vision. It's not a surprise that he has those point guard skills. The surprise was what he became offensively once he arrived in Houston as the #1 option. In the case of Kyrie Irving, the level of unselfishness has to be applauded, but also it comes down to what these brothers are doing. TLC's making shots. Joe Harris hit 6 or 7 threes last night. Landry Shamet, he hit 2 or 3 threes. They are threats from the perimeter. You can put the Brooklyn Nets can actually go 8 or 9 deep. It's not just about the big three. They can go 8 or 9 deep because you got guys that can shoot, and at all times they can put one, in most situations, 2 guys on the floor that you have to guard to free up those shooters. Brooklyn's the favorite right now. They're the favorites right now.
I don't think they're the favorite yet. They have to show that they can play defense. Although they've also showed you're going to have to outscore them. The Lakers are going to have to score 120, 130 points a game. There are teams in the NBA right now better than them because they play defense, including the Lakers and the Jazz. But what they did show is the Lakers are going to have to figure out where that 120, 130 is going to come from. But let me be very clear, Stephen A. The message they sent to LeBron is not we have game. Like LeBron knows that. It's that game, recognize game. That this is not the same old Kyrie. This is not the same old Harden we've seen in the past. We know Harden can play point guard, but a lot of times it was same thing with Kyrie. Dribble, 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 dribble. When they can't find their own shot, they get it to a teammate. But that's because they've never played with another dude like them. And now they're playing with 2 others. And the question's not Durant. We know Durant's impossible. We know that. The question was, how are these 2 going to coexist in the same backcourt? And what they've shown is, because game recognized game, they are willing to do what it takes to play unselfishly, to sacrifice touches, to sacrifice shots, to give up responsibility because they trust their teammate in a way they never have. That's the message.
Max, Kyrie looks the same as he looked in Cleveland. LeBron was handling the ball. Kyrie was off the ball. Kyrie was a scoring machine. Kyrie was a scoring machine, putting up buckets big time, but deferred to some degree to LeBron James and what LeBron James and Ty Lue wanted to do. Now, James Harden's a little bit different, but Kyrie Irving is doing what he did in Cleveland. He didn't do it in Boston, but he did do it in Cleveland when they won a chip.
To an extent, because he was a young guy on the way up who'd never won before, and he was playing with a player who people are arguing is the greatest of all time. And even then, we're starting to talk about, is he rival after the win against the Warriors at Oracle in 2016? Is he rivaling Michael Jordan? That's when Kyrie played with him as a young player. That's entirely different. Then, forcing his way out of town, not really being able to get along with others on the court in Boston because he played with good players but not great ones, and now showing up at this point and sharing a backcourt with Harden. That's a different story.
You're wrong. The only difference between Kyrie now and Kyrie then is that Kyrie did it begrudgingly in Cleveland. Now he's happy because he's with a teammate he wants to team with in Kevin Durant and James Harden. He didn't want to be there with LeBron. He wants to be here in Brooklyn with Kyrie, with KD and Harden. That's the only difference. But the game is similar.
All right, I'll wrap it up by saying this. The Nets are 10-1 currently against